All right. We are back here at Song Lady. I have to tell you, that's where got everything right there, Paul. Welcome back to the Rock Cave. We've done this before. Paul Chabot in the cave. I mean, if Paul Chabot is in the cave, it's got to be good. I mean,
let's not set expectations too high, please.
Really, man. I need a wingman because people are tired of hearing me talk. 947 videos.
Congratulations on that.
No. That's terrible. That's way too many of me talking. And I'm, like I need a studio audience, or I absolutely need a wingman because, like, I'm.
You're doing great.
I don't know.
You're doing great.
Some days better than others, but
I'm sorry it took so long for us to figure this out.
It's been a lot. We've been talking about this for a long time, but I'm excited.
What they're excited for is they're like, oh my God, this is the guy. They went 22, 23 minutes last time on Sabbath.
Yes,
this is one of our first episodes. Now, it was COVID, so we could talk a lot longer. But we're gonna try. I don't think to break that record today. I don't know. Check at the end right now on your timer to see how long it goes, and you decide if it's worth your time or not to listen to this.
You know what? Whether my videos are 3.5 minutes or 23 minutes is still somewhere between 3 and 57 views.
Perfect.
And I'm stuck on 336 followers on YouTube. So I actually lost one the other day. I was kind of annoyed.
Wow.
And then I gained another one.
They'll come back
Someone
after
left.
this one.
Someone left.
We got good stuff to talk about, though.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So the purpose of you being here has been talking about this for a long time.
Yep.
I'm excited to hear about this because I've only heard a little bit about it here through the years.
Why is Paul wearing a drug?
Yeah, that's right.
What is this?
Good cue. And we said we are going to talk about Woodstock '94 because Paul Chabot was there, and it's such a big deal that they put out a documentary about it, which you'll talk about too. But apparently people need to see that. But Woodstock '94 was a big deal. 25th anniversary in 1994 of the original Woodstock. Right. They called it 2 More Days of Peace and Music, and they added another dove to the original poster. And it was at the farm that was supposed to host the original one, but 70 miles away from where they had it originally at Winston Farms in New York. $135 a ticket.
The entire weekend.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a deal right there.
164,000 tickets sold. What could go wrong? The problem is 200 more thousand or so people showed up without tickets. But anyway, we'll get to all that. But yeah, you were doing that was your first festival, right?
Yes, I had never been to anything like this before, and to show up, that's a good start, right? It's a good intro, 250, 300,000 people.
So I had to think if I had done any festivals, and really what comes down to it, I've only been to 4 stadium shows in my life.
Okay. Pink
Floyd twice, 88 and 94.
Okay.
The Stones, all at the same place, by the way, all in Foxborough.
All right, U2?
The Stones and U2. Good one. That's right. All right. That's it. And then festivals, I saw a folk festival with my mom at the Tweeter Center that had Lyle Lovett and the Indigo Girls, and I think it was Don Henley because I think it was like for his charity or whatever. Anyway,
were they any good at that time?
That was like late 80s. That was good. That was good. And then of course we were in the pit. Sarah and I were in the pit twice for Lilith Fair.
That must have been rough.
For 4th row seats
for
Lilith. Yeah, it was crazy. You should have seen when Jewel launched herself into the crowd and just broken arm. It was crazy. So I was in the pit. So we were in the pit for those two. That's my festival experience.
Wow.
And all right.
This is a little bit different. All right.
Now we got that out of the way.
It's like a backyard barbecue.
Yes, right. So you decide you're going to go to Woodstock '94. Tell us the story.
Well, we wanted to do it, right? We thought this would be a great thing. $135. So my friend Matt and Josh came with me. I begged them to come on the show, and they're like, "We can't do it. We don't." I think Matt. He probably was the 337.
That's right. God, yes, right.
Anyway, so but we went with those guys. It was a great time. And, a lot of great stories and just how to get there. Like, this is a logistical nightmare. And to remind yourselves here, 1994, there's no such thing as cell phones. Not even you don't have them. There's no such thing as them, right? And so we had directions to go and park somewhere. And we got to a lot. And honest to God, and we'll show up some pictures. I've got some stuff to kind of give. I got plenty of stuff here. We got maps.
Look,
he's got
a whole binder here
pictures,
from his.
I got all the newspapers from the day. It was a great time. But we show up at the first place, and when I tell you that there were hundreds of people waiting to get on the single school bus to go from the parking lot to the show, which was about, I don't know, probably 30-minute round trip, I'm not lying. And so once we saw that, we said, forget it, got back in the car again. We parked the car actually on the side of the highway. We were going to walk, I don't know, probably 10 miles. Decided that wasn't a good idea. Drove back around and back around. We ended up at a gas station, who then presented us with, said, park your car here. Here's the map. And, the show is somewhere down here. And this is where you are. So I had to take this with me to figure out how to get back to my car when the show's over. That's a level of technology.
I love the hand-drawn map. It's like a treasure map.
Pretty much. Yes, the classic story. Later, maybe, if we have time, we'll go back to that. But we finally got to the show. And you go through what was, supposedly this big security and this and that. They weren't looking for anything. I mean, they were just kind of like, I don't know, zip your bag open. Your huge duffel bags, because you brought your tents and your sleeping bags, just that. You could have brought anything in there you wanted to. So we go through the gates, and there are so many people, Mark. I mean, they're just on top of each other on these tents in this nice level kind of area, and it's like a city. They've got shops up and food and, selling these kind of things, and it was kind of amazing. We couldn't find a spot down the bottom. This will come very important later in the story. So we just kept walking all the way to the back. We had to walk all the way up this huge hill, way, way in the back, and that's where we finally got our tent there.
See, so far all this says, no, I'm not interested in this.
3 days in a tent on top of a hill somewhere.
So far, I'm out. But anyway, so, I mean, they said, so they wanted to avoid all the things from the original Woodstock. So they're like, no, we're not going to have problems. We're going to have so much security. We're going to have plans. We're going to have enough everything. And they obviously thought they had a number in mind for people. They sold 164,000 tickets, which I don't know if that was a disappointment or not. But somewhere around 200,000 people that didn't have tickets showed up.
Well,
more than had tickets.
They had a fence this time, but
200,000.
Yeah. And I don't begrudge anybody who showed up who didn't pay. I mean, at that point, we were just like so excited to see the show. He didn't care. It was a good time.
So it was good weather. Friday was fine. They said it was sunny.
Correct. It was great. We could pitch our tent, and we're thinking, okay, this is going to be wonderful. And then we wake up in the morning. It's looking like it's a little bit drizzly. And I was trying to think to myself, they're like, okay, wake up and get some water. And so, again, we're still online, but like, this is what I wake up to. This is the go get a drink of water. Look, all those tents in the back. Again, we're up on the hill. I'm like, oh my gosh, what have we gotten ourselves into here? This is an absolute city.
Right.
So then, so that's Saturday morning. You wake up to that and off to the, to see more.
So when you got there on Friday, did you make it in time for did you make it? Blues Traveler was first?
Yeah.
Like the first band to play?
Yeah. So again, back then there were different kind of levels of success, right?
Sure, 94.
So today,
that's fair.
Blues Traveler might be a lot later. So absolutely.
Yeah. So you saw Blues Traveler. You saw them.
Right.
Were you down near the stage?
No, I think I was walking by to try to find a place to put my tent.
Oh, got it.
There were two stages. There was a huge north stage and a south stage, and we were just walking by the south stage, I think.
All right. So Friday night was Blues Travelers. Jackal. I did a show on Jackal in the last year because I was like, I really liked some of their songs.
Yeah.
And they said he used a chainsaw on stage to cut some stuff up, shot a rifle in the air, probably blanks, cut himself and was bleeding everywhere.
I don't recall that. I'm sure it happened, but
live was huge in '94.
Correct. Live was good.
Yeah.
I did see
Huge
live,
fans,
and I wasn't a massive fan, but I certainly really appreciated them.
So you already had your tent set up and you worked your way back, or you?
Yeah, I think by then we had. It's a bit of a blur from '94.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, James, which we're big fans of James. I don't know. That's an unusual time slot for James, but they were pretty big. King's X out of nowhere. King's X, a metal band that was not huge even in '94. I mean, I saw King's X open up, I think, for Ozzy with one of the Vixens and stuff like that.
I never understood the King's X thing, and I didn't see them there either.
Got it.
Skip that.
All right, so it goes James, King's X, Sheryl Crow,
which I did see part of the Sheryl Crow.
'94.
Show.
That's huge. That was Tuesday Night Music Social Club, whatever the name of that record is. That was when she got huge. Collective Soul.
Yeah, they were great, and then they had that song with
Heavy?
Yeah, the whole thing.
Is that Heavy?
I think that might be the name of it.
Yeah.
They had way too many yes.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it went on for like 15 minutes, and I think there's a video we might show you guys our link to that you can watch. Yeah, like for 20 minutes.
Candlebox. which was an awesome band.
Right.
You and
the awesome band, but think about it. So, we're looking at this list here. They're second to the last.
Yeah, so what
today,
time was that?
Candlebox would not be almost a headliner at this point.
Yeah.
It's just kind of ridiculous.
And was this getting into late at night by the time Candlebox? And then it closes with Violent Femmes in 94.
Which, again, unfortunately, I did not have the appreciation for good music, I don't guess. And I did not stick around for that either. You got to understand, I'm exhausted. We've been driving around trying to park for 6 hours.
Yeah, that's late at night or something,
and then you're walking all over the place. Yeah,
Was there lights back to your tent? How did you find your tent?
Yeah, no. And you didn't use the flashlight on your phones as a recurring thing.
Did you have a flashlight?
I don't remember.
No,
I don't know.
Okay, all right.
I could have used that head thing.
I sound like a parent, yeah.
Right. really good. I mean, it got so bad, and to walk around in the weather, people would put ropes and they would attach. Now, try doing that in the middle of the night, by the way.
Oh, jeez.
Because again, we're way up at stuff.
So Saturday it rains,
right.
and everything starts to get muddy.
Yep.
Right. So when did the music start? In the afternoon?
I want to say noon.
Noon. Okay. So Joe Cocker comes on. That's a pretty big deal. I mean, he was at the original Woodstock.
Right. Who again? I don't think I saw.
Probably not.
But the video is excellent.
Yes, okay.
So check that out.
Blind Melon, big deal. They were pretty big then.
And he had like some
Shannon
sort of
Hoon.
big white dress on or something like that.
That's what he's famous for.
And in '94, people were like, "Oh my gosh, this guy's wearing a dress." I mean, today, whatever.
Right. Right. Cypress Hill. Did you see Cypress Hill?
So
Insane in the Membrane.
I saw parts of Cypress Hill leading to your next guy, Rollins Band.
So Rollins Band. That's a lot of yelling. That's heavy. That's hardcore.
You got the mosh pit going.
Yeah, right.
Cypress Hill was getting it really going.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Rollins was crazy. The sweat, again, tickle the videos. The mud starting to kind of come out because there's so much sweat and rain and dirt. So, I mean, once you're all hyped up, what are you going to go to next?
Someone big's got to come out.
Someone's huge. Or rip your face off.
Yeah, right. So they bring out Melissa Etheridge to really get the crowd going.
But they're going to follow up with another punch.
Right, we're going to bring him back. We're going to bring him back. We need to get the mosh pit back. So we got Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Who were awesome.
Without Young.
They were great. But, it's just kind of like you got.
That's for people to go to bed, right?
That's a lot of testosterone that just did a bunch of moshing that's a little upset about
Yeah, so then they really do decide to bring somebody out. So think about that. You're at Cypress, Rollins, Etheridge comes on, and then you're like, I got to go get some food. Because then it's Crosby,
that's going to
Stills,
take
Nash,
2 hours.
Right, 2 hours.
So, yeah.
But then, who comes on?
Yeah, so it was now dark.
Okay.
And Nine Inch Nails comes out.
In 94.
And
Pretty
these
Hate
guys
Machine, by the way,
are absolutely covered in mud. The place goes absolutely crazy. Like, all the mud people that are behind me, I am in the front now at this point, and they're just going absolutely nuts. The band is covered, all the mud. Again, please take a look at the video.
Pictures and stuff.
Oh my gosh. They beat the living hell out of their instruments, Mark. I've never seen anything like it. And it didn't really sound all that good. And I couldn't even understand how it was making the music that it was making.
Yeah, I thought you couldn't play music in rain. So how can you play synthesizers it's covered in mud?
Right.
It's not going to sound any good.
Right, yeah. They're kind of covered with the weather a little bit.
Yeah, right.
But that rain became so torrential.
Yeah, right.
And again, you'll see the whole things are covered with mud. So I don't know how they did it. It was more about screaming and energy, and it still works.
But when they talk about that show, one of the things they talk about is that Nine Inch Nails covered in mud part, right?
Because it was a whole connecting to everybody else who was in the mud as well, I think.
Yeah. And in 94, Nine Inch Nails was pretty cutting edge as far as what they were doing.
Right.
Yeah.